Good day, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Trick or Treat, the game where we sharpen our decision making skills by diving into some bold and unconventional choices. Today, we are looking at two options. On the left hand side, we have never having to sleep. On the right hand side, never having to eat. Clearly, an interesting choice, knowing how important both are for our survival. Let's deal with the never having to sleep option first. Personally, I have always thought of sleep as a colossal waste of time, a practical joke played on us by evolution. And that's because we spend a third of our lives unconscious. And for me, considering how short life is, that's a real shame. Now, these days in the 21st century, it feels like sleep just doesn't fit into our lives anymore. In the past, however, sleep made more sense. Life was ruled by farming, and farmers followed the rhythms of nature, which meant going to bed when the sun went down. Sure, you could light up the house if you want to do something after dark, but the real question was what would you do if you had boredom to the exhaustion of work in the fields? And the fact that daily life was tough, it's obvious that sleep could be seen not only as a necessity, but also as a welcome escape from the grind and the wear and tear of daily life. Today things couldn't be more different though. Our eyes and our nervous systems are constantly bombarded with stimuli. Movies, video games, endless streams of YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, the latest influencer posts, a never-ending flood of notification on our phones, and the list goes on and on. You're never bored because there's always something to do. The problem is sleep isn't seen as a necessity anymore, much less a pleasure. It feels more like a nuisance, something standing between us and life itself. And so people push it off, go to bed later and later, often ignoring the fact that they'll be wrecked the next morning. The point is that one way or another in today's society, sleep gets neglected. And yet we all know it's essential. While we sleep, the body, especially the brain, flushes out toxins that build up during the day. All doctors agree that skimping on sleep can create health problems in the long run. Now, it's clear that if you chose the never have to sleep option, the black one, it would mean you wouldn't suffer any consequences from sleep deprivation and could spend your time enjoying yourself. And since we spend 8 out of 24 hours sleeping, your life would effectively be extended by a third. If you make it to 90, it's as if you had lived to 120, because like everyone else, instead of sleeping, you were actually doing things. But here's the catch, perfectly summed up by author Susan Ertz. Millions long for immortality who don't know what to do with themselves on a rainy Sunday afternoon. The real question is, okay, now you've got the whole night free. What do you do? Scroll TikTok? Send a text to friends who won't answer until tomorrow? Basically the same stuff you do during the day? Or do you get ahead on your work, start a new project or something? Could you handle long hours of silence while the rest of the world sleeps? Could you carve out a whole new slice of life for yourself? Or would the extra time just end up being more the same? Because if you really manage to invent a new third of life for yourself, chances are that it will spill over into your days too. Imagine taking up a new hobby at night. Soon you'd probably be doing it during the day as well. Maybe cutting back on social media or gaming or something. You might actually reinvent yourself this way. But if you just use those 8 extra hours to binge the same content or keep doing the same things, odds are they'd lose their appeal pretty fast because, as the saying goes, too much of a good thing ruins it. So yeah, it all comes down to how you use the time. And would I know how? Would I find it useful to have an extra third of life at my disposal? Absolutely. I'm totally convinced of that. I don't know. I'd probably spend most of it making videos. There was a time when I was a kid when going to bed was one of the best parts of my day. I think it was the same for everyone, because when you are little, you need a lot more sleep, you get tired more easily because you have so much energy to burn during the day, and so by the evening you're really exhausted and all you want is to go to bed. At some point, I remember I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore, and I saw my bed as a wonderland, a place full of delights. Now, as an adult, it's been the opposite. Going to bed feels like a total buzzkill. I know it's an absolute requirement, I mean sleep, but 9 times out of 10 I don't feel like lying down at all. I'd rather stay up a little longer, and then a little longer after that, and then even longer still. Kind of like in those turn-based strategy games where you want to take just one more turn. I need to watch one more YouTube video, read one more article, do a little more of this, do a little more of that, and so on. Now let's look at the other option, never having to eat, the white option. If we chose this, our bodies will be practically like a star, feeding on themselves without needing any nutrients. And we'd be able to carry out our daily activities normally and without issues. Obviously, we wouldn't feel hunger and food would be completely indifferent to us. We'd be as uninterested in eating as a terminally ill patient, factually, totally stripped of the pleasure of food. I can almost see the horror in your face, and believe me, I feel the same way. Unlike sleep, eating is so constantly present on social media and legacy media, like people were expecting the end of the world. Recipes, cooking contests, mukbangs, vlogs about kitchens around the world, you name it. It's what I once called the gluttony TV. By now, nobody even cares about sex anymore. Everyone's too busy stuffing themselves. So it's a decision time. I bet most people would pick never having to sleep, the black option. Not only would they still get to eat, but they'd also get an extra third of the day to do the stuff they like the most. One of them being, I suppose, eating. I'm going with the black option too, mostly for the reasons I mentioned earlier, not just because I don't want to give up food. So I'm making my choice, and in the end, we'll see if people are more sleepyheads or food lovers. I'm just kidding, of course. And never having to sleep it is. And would you look at that? The vast majority, probably the clearest result we have seen so far, chose never having to sleep. 75% against 25%. That's 3 out of 4 who picked the black option. And you, what would you have chosen? Do my reasons make sense, or do you have anything to object to or add? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, please. Alright, see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day or evening. Bye bye.